Our call recording is now on, and our lines are now locked. It is 11:35 on the East Coast of the United States of America, 8:35 on the West, and that means it's time for the industry's #1 performance coaching wake-up call to begin. My name is Jason Spurlock. I'm absolutely delighted to be with you here today. Some days even more delighted than others. I woke up this morning about 8 o'clock, and my power has been off until about 10 minutes ago. so this is one of those times where you got to like sing for your supper. You know, you realize you have to figure out how, you know, maybe all this practice has finally paid off on days like today. No, but seriously, we've got the mercy and the good hand of the Lord with us, and this is the day that the Lord has made. And I hope that you feel inspired to take deliberate action on your goals and worthy ambitions to create a better, happier, richer, fuller life for yourself today. And we start our day with this particular phone call. It's an immersive experience, and we have been very fortunate within this community to bring on some outstanding guests over the past couple of weeks. And today is absolutely no exception. In fact, I really jive with our special guest message and brand and overall approach to her business today. And the thing, if you're kind of a guest on this call and you tuned in yesterday or tuned in. It's on a radio show. You dialed in yesterday or downloaded the podcast, whatever. We had Diane Cottle, and she talked about EFT, emotional freedom techniques and tapping methods and whatnot. Next week we've got Dr. Sharon Steels, who is a naturopath and one of the best. She is the best naturopath that I know. And today we've got a luxury and wellness coach. You know, the point that I'm trying to make is all of these folks are transformational leaders, and they operate a significant portion of their business over the Internet. And so I hope that you will not only take some valuable content and put it to work in your life and your business today to get this monumental transformational benefit and a result, but I hope that you come away with some kind of a business coaching, this mindset as well, simply because you can visit all of these experts and leaders in their particular niches and spaces, and you can take some very valuable, whether it's marketing or monetization for your business advice or all kinds of different things away. So anyway, I don't want to ramble on and take the time of my guest today. Our special guest is the founder and creator of glamorouslyhealthy.com, glamorouslyhealthy.com. Her name is Christine Campbell, and she is a certified holistic health and wellness counselor. And I don't know why this always keeps popping up, but it seems like everyone who's worth their salt in the nutritional and fitness space has received their training from the Institute of Integrative Nutrition, and she received hers in New York City. She's also certified by the American Association of Drugless Practitioners. She has a fashion degree. Yes, we're talking to one of those people today, from the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising in Los Angeles. And she spent her entire life in the beauty industry, whether it's modeling, styling, and designing. She leads workshops. She's got a very high-end coaching program that I'd like to speak with her about today, so we can not only just pass along that opportunity to you, but also, again, the business juju, if you will. And she specializes in transformations and these total life transformation and experiences for professional women. And, of course, she'll work with the occasional man, too. She's been in the health and wellness industry for many, many years. Was also a competitive synchronized swimmer, of all things. First competitive synchronized swimmer we've ever had on the call, that's for sure. She was trained by some of the world's most accomplished Olympic coaches, people that inspired her to be the best physically, mentally, and they taught her the importance of taking good care of herself. Nevertheless, she is a girly girl, and I think that comes across in every aspect of her life and her business. When her father suffered a heart attack, she made it her mission kind of in a business to wipe out heart attacks. This is certainly an ambitious goal, and one of the things that we'll get to in this call. So nevertheless, and without further ado, I'd like to bring out a very special and featured guest today, Miss Christine Campbell in New York. I guess you're in New York, Christine. You just returned back from Hawaii.
Yeah, no, actually,
Aloha,
I'm based
my
out of
lady.
Aloha. No, I'm actually based out of Los Angeles.
Okay, excellent. Where did I get New York City then from this? I mean, I think that
from
your Facebook
schooling,
page,
yes,
yeah,
from
okay.
IIN. Mm-hmm.
I thought, like on your Facebook page when I stalked you about a week ago. And hey, listen, by the way, speaking of stalking Christine, if you're listening on this call, whether you're dialing in live or on the podcast, please go check her out. Christine Campbell, glamorouslyhealthy.com, or you can stalk her on Facebook too. It's worth the experience. while just doing a search for Christine Campbell. And let me just ask you real quick, your credentials at the end is CHHC?
Certified Holistic Health Coach.
Excellent. Okay. Never seen that before. I've never seen it used. So I was just curious. How was the trip to Hawaii?
Amazing.
I hate you.
So much fun. Yeah, I just really loved that week with my best girls and just relaxing and taking a break before the new year. So it was fabulous.
You've certainly been busy. I think winding up last year when we spoke, you were really going through the crunch time of wrapping up many, many clients and getting this transformational result. This, like I mentioned, a top tier, kind of a premier level coaching practice. I love your brand when you use this glamorous wellness, if you will, this luxury lifestyle with an overall integrative fitness approach. Why is that so important to you? I mean, and I get it from reading your credentials, and it certainly resonates with me. How did you step out of the box and kind of go against the marketing grain? I mean, I just think that with a lot of, quote, marketing coaches, you might be advised to go against that, or maybe that was the nichification, if you will, for your success.
Yeah, well, when I first started to brand, I hired a coach, and it was more of a coach that she was kind of just someone who brought me clarity, and I didn't really have a clue what I was doing, so I never run a business. I was a fashion designer for 10 years and transitioned out of that just more as following a personal calling to just serve other people. So when I started branding, she just said to me, when you come out into the world, because you're going to be on the internet, when people come to your site, make sure the feeling of it is what they'll get when they speak to you. So whoever you represent, your colors that you feel you represent to the world, and I'm very soft and spotty, like
It's a great point, by the way.
Everything about me is what you see when you go to my website. Super feminine. I hope it's very inviting, and I really love beauty, and it's kind of surrounded me my entire life. So I actually just went from my heart and kind of used my own creative gifts and worked with a really great designer out of Australia, and we just kind of came up with Glamorously Healthy. And glamorously to me, again, is a lifestyle I've always lived. I was in design, in the beauty industry. Just kind of me and my lifestyle and the way I am is very much that way, being in Los Angeles, going to events, just having sort of, the style that I wear, and just everything around me is glamorous. So it just suited my personality, suited my lifestyle, and then I associated that with health, because also I live an incredibly healthy life. And although that's been a challenge for me throughout, my 20, 30 years, hence I do coach it, it also just kind of combines into one to really represent who I am and what I want to teach other people.
What do other people, for example, I mean, to me, this is we focus on mind, money, body, total transformation, total freedom in life. So again, it makes perfect sense. But when I think a lot of people, you just don't know what you don't know until you go through it and experience this. What are some of the I believe, there's 4 components to like this full out, well-balanced, highly engaged life. There's obviously the physical, the mental, emotional, and the spiritual.
Exactly.
And a lot of people, garbage in, garbage out. The food, you are what you eat, And so when you're integrating, again, this luxury lifestyle brand, and you do it with the nutrition, what are some of the stages that the common person is in? You know what I mean? Like, again, you don't know what you don't know. And so a lot of times they'll have a friction, a frustration, or a pain in their life, and then they'll go look for someone like you to take them kind of to the next level or a plateau, or they'll just, it's a New Year's resolution, for example. But, a lot of people live a totally perfectly fine, mediocre, average life, and so, but, when you take that step for luxury lifestyle, glamorous living, you start taking your health or even your business seriously. Or even your femininity, your gender, masculinity, whatever. What are some of the things that where the common problem or the common life, daily existence that people will be experiencing that you can elevate to the next step?
Sure. Well, so the niche that I really focus on right now is weight loss. So if you are in my inner world, follow me, you'll notice I'm really heavy on talking about weight loss. It's really the doorway that people come into me to seek my help. But as with anything, everybody has that main thing that they're really struggling with, whether it be building a business and it's how to get clients, or it is being blocked spiritually, or emotional traumas that are holding them back in life. They usually have that one thing that they know is their main problem. So for me, just again, although I do help on all areas, I had to choose one to make myself really stand out in the sense of clarity, to have, so I'm not speaking across the board and it's just a little bit too confusing. So all my clients do come to me with the mission of, or the purpose of, losing weight. All my clients are suffering from low self-esteem. They all seek more confidence and a higher quality of living and quality of life, and their weight is really holding them back. But on top of that, each and every single one of them know that they've all struggled for many, many, many years, and they know they can't do it themselves. When I am speaking to my list, I'm letting them know and teaching them that one of the main reasons that you aren't losing weight, if you've been struggling for so many years, is not just a lack of commitment, it's a lack of self-trust. Because for so many years, you've broken your trust by not finishing what you start, not keeping your word to yourself. So now when you decide you're going to do something, subconsciously you've already told yourself you failed and that you've lined yourself up to not go there.
Isn't
you're
that
allowing.
true? Not to cut you off, but I mean, you're absolutely spot on with this, and I want to just highlight this for everybody. The broken trust of not completing a task. I mean, winning is a mindset, in other words. I mean, and it's this confidence boost that comes up in you by successfully completing this task, and just winning the day, every single day. It's so important for living a fully engaged, highly productive life. Agreed?
It's mandatory.
Oh,
yes.
it's absolutely mandatory. And I love the fact that you bring up self-confidence. I want to ask you about that. Anyway, so I interrupted you. You were taking us through your process. I just want to illustrate self-esteem, but like this broken trust with yourself. It's so important.
Yeah, and it's something that can be changed. You can earn your self-trust back, but like you just mentioned, it has to be done by finishing what you start. And it's usually best to start little, because if you suddenly say, oh, I'm going to lose 100 pounds, there's so much to get there. There's so many blocks. There's so much resistance. There's so many things that are going to stand in your way that it's too big. And then you may line yourself up for failure again, and then just amplify the fact that you can't do anything, you can't finish things, you just are never going to get there. So hence, bringing someone in to help you set out a plan, make them doable, make them achievable, and hold you to it accountability-wise, you start to earn that trust back. And then and so my process really is bringing in someone who just really needs accountability, support, and someone to kind of stand in the fire with them when things get tough and not let them give up. And even when like every resistance and sabotage is just attacking them, to still have that person beside them that's talking them through it, and that they have to show up for again, and realize when they do keep showing up to me, they're becoming stronger, more fearless, more capable, having success in the results that they're seeking, and in essence just becoming much more strong. And that's how your confidence builds. Confidence isn't something you just decide to have one day. When you have a lot of reasons why you don't have confidence, you have to work through those and, in essence, kind of earn the confidence, to earn the right to be confident, because it is hard to just switch it on. It's like usually things in your life that are pulling it from you. So it's quite the process. I do keep my clients for a full year, because even if we do lose the weight within, say, 3 to 6 months, I have them in maintenance, and that's where I teach them to not gain it back. And that's where, again, the real work comes in, because a lot of people have a fear on what's on the other side of losing the weight, because, again, this weight is a symptom. It's truly a symptom of the traumas, of the fears, and like anything that's a negative emotion in your life that you have not dealt with. You keep it as a protective, comfort around you, with the excuse of weight. That becomes a reason.
Can I share a personal story and then kind of just get your take on it with the limited time and information that we have? My father has always, since I was a child, he's been overweight, and he's like a pot belly, just this belly that hangs over his belt kind of thing. And it's not flabby gross. It's fascinating belly because it's hard as a brick. It's like a big melon. But nevertheless, I mean, I spoke with him like a couple of years ago about just kind of losing the weight. You know, it's like, Dad, you're at an age now where you can let this go. And I think I even phrased it that way. You can just let this go. Mm-hmm. I swear to God, he came back to me and says, you know, and I was almost, I said something to the effect of, I think you're just afraid to lose the weight or something, blah, blah, blah. And he says, I think you're right. He says, if I lost the weight, I would be more vain. Like vanity would sneak into my life or something like. I mean, that, in other words, this somehow became some warped identity that he had. Mm-hmm. Sure. Tell me, like, again, what's kind of going through his mind with this type of stuff? Because when you describe your coaching practice, I get the feeling that people can almost experience a pretty big result pretty fast.
Yeah. Instantly, the second we start working together and the weight, they start to let go and realize they're going to let go of their security or whatever it is that's keeping them from living life to the fullest, they freak out. And then they're like, I don't know if I can let it go. Like, I don't want to, but yet I told that's the only thing I want. And they're very confused. And that's when we start working through their blocks. So
I get that same impression with my father. I think he would completely freak out. So I can totally see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's becoming someone different in a way because he has some fears. He has some a negative association to vanity. And whatever that may be to him, and I'd have to kind of talk to him further to like understand what really is around that whole word that he uses. But to him, it's not. It's something was put into his head, or something happened to him at one point where his vanity hurt him, or it caused some sort of stress, or it caused some sort of trauma, and he's not confident that he can handle looking that way because of whatever that will show up in his life, like who he will become, then he's not comfortable with.
It's all these stories. I mean, you go back to like the fundamental teaching of like Tony Robbins, for example. He says, you know, the stories that we tell ourselves. And I mean, everyone has these stories, and they completely can be so irrational. Yeah, I mean, and you're right. So once you just get to the fundamental root cause of what's going on in your life, you can expect a monumental transformational change in your life instantly.
Yeah. You don't know it until you're faced with it. Like, you can sit back and think, well, I don't know. Maybe it's fear of failure. Maybe it's fear of success. Maybe. But until I tell all my clients, they're like, well, I want to figure out my problems right now from day one. I'm like, we can't. We have to go through the process. And when they show up and you're resisting it and you're fighting against it, that's when we deal with it. And that's when we both know exactly what it is. But we can't just sit down and write a story, like solve all your problems before we get started. It's like starting a business and being able to be successful overnight. You just can't do it. You have to go through every single step and prove to yourself that you're strong enough and capable enough and have what it takes to build this big business. So, and you grow as you build. So it's the same with weight loss.
We were talking about my father, of course, and it's easy to talk about other people, isn't it? Because when you were describing that, I was like, God, if she were to get down to the root cause of my issues, I would fight and scream and kick and pull. I would go nuts. I mean, you know, just as I was talking about my father and you were describing some of your clients, I mean, I'm just thinking if somebody were to get down to the, you know, core levels of myself, I can imagine that this would be a difficult, like almost an impossible process. I mean, you talked about self-trust a little while ago, you know, and I'll be honest, I have trust issues with other folks, intimate relationships, bad traumas, you know, abandonment and all this other weird stuff. And so, you know, I would not only benefit by working with a coach, but I can imagine that it would be a difficult process, and that once you break that barrier and just realize, you know, to a fundamental degree, you're not going to die. You know, I think that's kind of what the fear, it's like the fear that you're going to die.
Sure. Well, that's what fear is, right? It's like you don't really know. It's imaginary, completely imaginary. And although it stops you, it paralyzes you, it keeps people from living life, and it keeps you hiding. So really, you have to make the choice that you're done hiding. You don't want to struggle. You want to deal with the things that have held you back, and really be willing to go through the pain and discomfort that going through your fears brings to you. But always, always, always on the other side of that fear is the most amazing feeling of accomplishment, courage, confidence, excitement. And facing your fears really does become addictive. because every time you actually get through one, you're like, oh my God, I'm a different person. It's like a brand new window is opened in your life of sunshine, and you're just kind of looking forward to the next thing you can overcome, and that's when you kind of become like a self-development junkie. So it's a great thing to really become addicted to, is improving yourself and just getting past every little thing that you see as an obstacle. Like personally, I just joined Toastmasters last night, and that's
last night.
Yeah, and that's
congratulations,
like,
I guess. I never would have saw you as a Toastmaster girl. That's cool.
Yeah, well, it's again, I have a long story as to like why I do what I do, and my own things that I'm always going through, and my own bit of being a self-development junkie. And Toastmasters, like being really confident on stage, is something that a lot of people have a fear of public speaking, and I'm fine in situations like this that put me in front of a couple hundred people. I freak out. I'm just wanting to better that and get past it, and I just committed to a year of Toastmasters as of last night so that I can have a goal of being on a stage in December. But it's traumatizing to me. Like I didn't sleep last night because I was like, oh, what did I do? I have to do this now. But at the same time, I can't wait, even though I'm so uncomfortable. And I think that's, again, me walking the walk, talking the talk. The same thing I'm bringing all my clients through. I'm doing it in my own life at a high level because I've already gone through all the little things. So It's
one of those little unspoken coolest parts of being a coach. It's the coolest parts of those unspoken things of being a coach is that you can't really be a leader and encourage people to do things that you're not willing to do. I mean, for example, me on video, I've got a face for radio, and I think that if I go on video, for example, that I think people are going to jump through the computer and eat me. I know that's completely irrational, but it's totally true, and I relate to that. And anyway, so I want to bring up one final point that you mentioned just a little bit ago. And earning your confidence is what you said. And it's this earning your I think that's so damn awesome. I mean, if you just get up every day, putting one foot in front of the other, taking the action to go one step closer to your goals, it is an amazing process to start your day in flow, in action, with this momentum, yeah? I mean, it's probably the single most essential part of success, probably. I never thought about it, but yeah. So earning your confidence. How important is it for people just to, once we get this picture of clarity, to go?
How important is it to, just start to put it into action?
Well, sure. I mean, in other words, I think that we talked about, getting this monumental breakthrough kind of almost instantly. Now, once I see what that is for me and I start to release all these stories, this past, these traumas, this irrationalities, now I have to go. Now I have to do stuff. And I have to start winning each day.
Well, the great thing is once you have a plan, you have goals. And everyone needs goals in life to be completely happy and have something. It's really important to have something to always be working towards, no matter what level you're at in life. So when you start to put a goal in front of you that you really want, that's key. It has to be doable. It has to be something you can achieve, and you have to have the steps lined up in front of you to be able to do it, to make it, believable and easier. So the thing is though, when you're dealing with breaking, getting through, really changing, you have to recreate habits, which takes, they say 21 days, but I believe it's more, to be honest. I think it takes approximately 2 to 3 months to really solidify solid habits that are going to stay for a long time until you start breaking them, but ideally you don't unless you're changing for improvement. So it really is that's when it gets a little uncomfortable because you have to kind of just get through the resistance of like getting up earlier. You don't want to get up earlier, but you just said you're going to get up earlier and you're not going to snooze, but you want to snooze. And it's just so painful to start to change those little teeny tiny things. But again, if you start to work backwards and problem solve your way around how to make each thing that you find a challenge easier, go to bed a little bit earlier. If it is a snoozing problem or you need more sleep, if it is just a mindset matter of waking up and just talking yourself down, you start to do the affirmations, you start to put on the meditation, you start to put on happy music, you start to journal in the morning, you get up and just go for that run. Like whatever it might be that works for you, there's always going to be something. So it's, again, that positive thinking, always a solution to every problem. Start training your mind, master your mindset, and really just start to put it into the works to become everything you can be. But it takes
discipline.
practice. It takes effort. It takes learning how to be this. You learned how to be the way you are now. If you're not happy with it, you can learn how to be the opposite. But you did learn that. So it's unlearning. It really is, and it's relearning. But to earn that confidence, you have to do what it takes, do the work. And so for everyone that's different. Some people it's quite easy, like people who can quit smoking cold turkey. They have a different type of way of doing things. Some people it's very difficult. But the point is just to not give up. And if you never give up and you stay consistent, stay persistent, and always, no matter how long it takes, hit your goal, I do believe you will always succeed.
You brought up something. It's almost like this perfect morning ritual that you described, whether it's listening to happy music, journaling, exercise. I mean, you've got your, the way that you start your day with healthy, nutritional kind of breakfast. You laid out all of that type of stuff perfectly, and I think that's just important. We look at it as a willpower window, if you will, and you wake up in the morning, you set your intention, and you just kind of ritualize that, and you just get better and better and better and more efficient, and you start winning the day. You brought up something that, the changing your life is kind of addictive. Facing your fears is addictive. And a lot of times we don't realize that also pain itself is addictive. And we have to look at this on like a very neurochemical level going on in the brain. I mean, the brain is releasing dopaminergic hormones, right? The same thing as cocaine, for God's sake. And we find comfort and solace in that. But, just like the runner's high, once you start, the marathon runner gets 26 miles down the road. No, I ain't doing that. But at the same time, the marathon runner experiences this profound elation, if you will. But subtle, simple changes in our life just through daily rituals and just making small tweaks on the front end and getting large results on the output is not only addictive, but it's very transformative. It happens very fast. So I just kind of want to illustrate that point that changing your life can be addictive. And I want to invite every single person that's listening to, reach out to you and make that change in their own life. I think your methodology is great. I think your style and attitude and, just everything that you got going on for living a highly engaged, fully productive life is outstanding, Christine. I want to commend you and publicly acknowledge that. We're speaking with Christine Campbell. We're out of time, of course, but you can visit Christine and her website by going to glamorouslyhealthy.com, glamorouslyhealthy.com. Again, glamorouslyhealthy.com, and she's got a great little newsletter. Or if you want fast, healthy weight loss tips, or all of this other kind of luxury, transformational, integrative approach to not only weight loss, but changing every aspect of your life and even your business. I would subscribe, at least invite you to put in your name and email address to receive that free newsletter. But you've also got a kind of a special offer for folks today, Christine.
Yeah, well, I just thought, since it is the start of the year, that I would offer a free 2015 self-love weight loss plan to the first 10 people that email me.
Self-love
and we'll
weight
set
loss.
out your whole year in the sense of what you're going to need to get through in order to hit your goals. So, so the first 10 people that send me an email, I'll give you my personal email address, and just write in the subject that you want the plan. I'll respond, and we'll get you started.
Self-love weight loss. I'm writing this down. Because I stalked you on Facebook, and now I'm going to stalk your inbox. No, I'm just kidding. Go for it.
I know Facebook is so fun. My personal would be Christine L., as in Louise, Campbell @gmail.com.
Christine L. Campbell. And that Campbell is spelled Campbell. Campbell.
Yep, like the soup.
Yep, just like the soup. Because in Kentucky, we've got a lot of Campbells, and they all spell their names differently, and we can tell that.
That's probably my relatives.
Oh, no, they're not your relatives.
A lot of us Campbells out there.
Yeah, you're way too pretty to have relatives in Kentucky, sweetie. Christine L. Campbell at
gmail.com.
Gmail.com, got it. And we'll publish. I'll try to encrypt this so you don't get a lot of spam robots or something filling up your inbox. But I will include a cryptic form of that email on the SoundCloud recording. You can check it out after we hang up here, soundcloud.com/morningignition, or in our Facebook group as well, and on our Facebook page, facebook.com/morningignition. But Christine Campbell, glamorouslyhealthy.com. Subscribe to her newsletter. And if you want a self-love weight loss for 2015, which I think, damn it, that's perfect. Self-love weight loss. I mean, it's one of these things, there's this, and I don't mean to talk too much, and I know that we've gone a little bit, but just to kind of illustrate this point of how this works for folks. I've seen it, there's this MLM company out in the market, and they wrap themselves with saran wrap kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh, the wrap.
You probably, I don't want to mention any names, but you've seen what I'm talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now they
Body
body wraps, of course, and they wrap them stuff, and it looks like it works. I mean, they say it works. Okay, it works.
I've tried it.
Okay,
it's temporary. It kind of squeezes everything in, and you get really hot, and so you lose water. So yeah, you temporarily tighten up and slim down, but again, it's water weight.
What I've noticed is that these folks will wrap themselves up with this, and they'll look great. I mean, they really will look. They'll have this transformational result. 45 minutes or so coming. And I've noticed that once that happens, everything shifts inside of these other folks. I mean, at that point, they'll stop eating the damn cheeseburger. They'll start they'll start going to the gym after that. They'll start taking a fresh approach to their appearance, whether it's the way that they brush their hair, the makeup they wear, the clothing. I mean, everything starts to change the moment they wrap themselves up in saran wrap. It is mind-boggling to me. But, look, the benefit that they receive is temporary from the saran wrap stuff. But I noticed that the mind starts to work different. And the way that it's self-image, isn't it?
Yeah, it's self-image.
It's crazy. And so it all starts with self-image. And so, look, I love your business. I love your integrative approach to, the total package. I mean, you can have it all. That's kind of the thing that I want to, say to folks is you can have it all. And I think that you're a wonderful coach. I think, look, I'm not one to, this is my excuse today. If you have specialized in working with men, I'd do it. But no, because it says on your website you want to work with women. No, simply because I think that an accountability partner and just, me as an entrepreneur, the creative space, you kind of get, OCD. You've got so many ideas that it's hard to kind of keep them, what do I do next? You just feel like you got to go. So whether it's feeling great, looking great, but, one of the things even in this space, and I think that all of us will aspire to listening on this call, is stepping into our greatness and realizing that and taking ownership of it. Like when we have to take the next step in your business. It's not too hard to make a six-figure income in this industry, but it's a big, huge psychological jump going from six-figure, 100,000 to 250. It's a big, huge psychological jump going to 250 to $1 million. And if people are kind of plateaued in their results in this industry or listening to this call, I just want to kind of point out that as a benefit. And I think that you do an outstanding job, with just experience from fashionista stuff and blah, blah, blah. So glamorously.
It really is like complete makeover. I do makeovers in essence, like from the weight then into, it's like the outside, the inside, and then actually my clients have a right once they finish the program and hit their goals to come into LA, and I'll do a full-blown makeover on them, styling, hair, and makeup, and kind of send them back home completely redone. So it's kind of like the little perk, hence Glam Health, my Glam Squad, that they get to do, but they have to hit their goal. So that's some inspiration.
I'm getting more and more inspired to take you up on this little one-on-one thing. I swear to God. I mean,
I will work with men as long as they come for the right reasons.
I just don't have much hair.
Listen to me.
You
don't need hair.
I don't have much hair.
Hair does not, you are you, and having hair doesn't make you better. Put it that way.
I'm playing. Anyway, Christine Campbell, we've gone way long. Let's wrap this up. Glamorouslyhealthy.com, Christine Campbell. I always like to close out each and every call with kind of the same type of question. I wish I had a more mature way of asking this. It sounds kind of juvenile. Give us your top 3 tips on how to wake up and be awesome.
Top 3, make the decision that you're going to do what you need to do every day to make it the best. So wake up with a very positive mindset. And if you wake up in a slump, learn how to shift that mindset quickly. Make sure that you wake up doing inspired in the sense of having a plan and knowing exactly what you're going to be accomplishing that day. And I actually have so many, but I would say another big one just for waking up is really make sure you wake up in a home environment that inspires you, that it's clean and organized and beautiful. Your home environment is really important, so I think that does make a big difference how people wake up versus like waking up in a clutter is very difficult. Waking up in organized beauty is very inspiring. So for morning, that would be a few of them.
Organized beauty. I love that. I mean, beauty is organized. It's, isn't it? It's profound. I mean, beauty is the organization of the void.
Big pile of clutter, a really messy home is not
yeah, man.
pretty. It's just not pretty. But you can't function in that. You'll wake up every day living a low vibration, and really the way I look at it is the condition of your nails and the condition of your home really define the condition of your mind and the way you're living your life.
Did you just say the condition of your nails and the condition of your home? I swear to God, like, we have waited until way too long to get to this tweetable, as Marie Forleo would say. The condition of your nails and the condition of your home, what?
Really define the condition of your mind and the condition of your life. So if your nails are a mess, your home is a life, so is your mind. And so, if your nails are a mess and your home is a mess, so is the chaos in your mind. You have a cluttered mind and a cluttered life. So if you clean up, make sure every day you look at your nails and they're taken care of and they're manicured nicely, even as a man, but you just can really appreciate and it's showing you take care of yourself. And your home as well. If you keep a really clean home, the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. You're naturally going to start to clean up the rest of your life. So I always make my clients clean their homes, always, and have their nails done, always.
My mouth is open. I've never, in all the years I've been doing this call, I've never heard someone say the condition of your nails and the condition of your home. Look, I agree.
Think about it.
I am. I'm thinking about it. It's like, okay, I get it. It's totally cool.
Yep.
I mean, seriously, but when it comes to like having this organized beauty around this healthy space, it's a very, awesome tip. I mean, it's absolutely spot on. It's on point. You can say feng shui, your chi energy, whatever. I mean, you just can't really calm and center your mind if you're living in this chaos of clutter of your space, your work.
And I mean, anyone who lives in clutter, it's the same as having the symptom of excess weight on you. All that stuff is representing like the negative things in your life. So as I get people to throw out the junk, throw out the clutter, let go of the crap, as well as referring to that as bad negative emotions that are keeping you overweight, it all goes hand in hand. It's the same stuff. So
you make your bed every day, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. But if I don't, I notice that I'm like, I got to make my bed. Like I instantly have that thing in my head where I'm like, I just don't like it. It changes my mindset. I make it a practice to
I can imagine
put my things away and make my bed, do the dishes.
I can imagine you've got all of this as a very organized, kind of a structured ritual. It's not necessarily even OCD. It's just an awareness, a consciousness that you bring to it.
Learning. Yeah, I'm a double Pisces. I'm not naturally clean. So
a double Pisces.
We're naturally a little bit scattered. So, yeah, it's definitely a practice that I've learned, and it makes the biggest difference in the world.
I think that's absolutely awesome. Top 3 things to wake up and be awesome. Make a decision when you start out your day. Wake up with an inspired plan and occupy an environment that inspires you. I love that. Christine, you've been absolutely wonderful, and thank you for volunteering your time here with us today. And I do hope that you'll come back again soon.
Oh, my gosh, I would love to. It was so much fun, and I love what you're doing as well. Keep it up. It's awesome. And have a wonderful day.
You make it possible, my lady. And for Christine Campbell, I'm Jason Spurlock. Same bat time, same bat channel, Monday morning. No morning wake-up call tomorrow. But for now, my friends and my neighbors, this call, it's a wrap.